Yo guys, what is up? Vintran here, and today we're going to be talking about what I use to film weddings as well as commercial videos. And keep in mind that I didn't get this gear overnight. This has been years of working and doing a bunch of client work to be able to get gear just like this. And to prove it to you, here's a clip from one of our very first videos. It's an iPhone 5, a cheap clip-on lens, and a cheap glide cam that we bought off of Amazon. So jumping straight into things, the backpack that we use is the Lowepro Pro Tactic 450 AW version 2. It's a great backpack and it has all these holes that we can put carabiners and clips on. And my favorite part is that it opens from the back. This backpack is one of the most comfortable backpacks I've ever owned, and I personally think it's great for all of the types of videos that we do. From carrying it around on wedding days to trekking it up a hill or a mountain for some scenic nature videos. Something to note is also on wedding days we have a Pelican case, but that just holds some of the more esoteric gear such as lighting, extra batteries, extra microphones, and just a bunch of extra cables as well as audio recorders. Alright, so in the backpack we have all of our compartments. I don't know if you guys can see all that. So we're just gonna go through everything and I'll show you guys what's up. So first things first is camera bodies. We use two bodies. We use the 1DX Mark II as our main camera, and as our B camera we use the EOS R, which is filming me right now, so insert B-roll now. Both of these cameras are able to shoot up to 4K. The EOS R can shoot at 30 frames per second max, and the 1DX can shoot up to 60 frames per second. This works perfectly because I'm usually shooting on the 1DX at 60 frames per second, while I have a second shooter that shoots at 30 frames per second. So having two cameras that can do those two things works perfectly. And yes, the one question you may be asking is why the 1DX Mark II and the EOS R? Well, besides the capabilities of the video recording, they both take amazing photos. Both provide a very crisp image, and among all, both of these cameras are super rugged, especially the 1DX Mark II. This could fall off a building before it would crack. Okay, not literally, but you get the point. This is an all aluminum or die-cast body, which is heavy, but it also provides a great image, and I know I can rely on this camera. So up next is lens choice. We have four main lenses that we use. One is this lens, the Tamron 24-70 f2.8 VC, which stands for vibration compensation. It's basically Tamron's version of Canon's IS stabilization in all their L lenses. This 24-70 lives on the 1DX, and it is our go-to lens because it has such a great range from about medium at 24 to slightly telephoto at 70. And when we're shooting run and gun on wedding days, it's perfect for being able to zoom in and out and get all the shots. So for this next lens, we're gonna do a little switcheroo. So the lens that I just took off that camera is the 24-105 f4 RF because it's on the EOS R with IS built into the lens. This RF glass is the best glass on the market by far. This is some of the sharpest Canon glass I've ever shot with, and I even own the 24-70 f2.8. I love this f4 and the range of 24-105, especially since this camera, the EOS R, sits on the Ronin S most of the time. This enables us to get some really cool parallax shots, as well as a good amount of bokeh in the background. Something cool about these new RF lenses that Canon's making is that they added this feature called the control ring right here, which we have programmed to change ISO quickly. So in one motion you could zoom, focus, and change your ISO, which saves tons of time. I don't know how many times I've used that feature in the field. Now that we covered all of our standard lenses, now we're going to go into our more specialty lenses. So next is the 16-35 f4 by Canon EF mount. Again, back to EF mounts. And you may be asking yourselves, why didn't we get the f2.8 version? Well, a couple reasons. Personally, I think this lens is a little bit sharper than the f2.8 since you have to bump it to f4 to get its maximum sharpness on the 2.8. And also because we never really shoot a lot of wide angles and in the dark, so it just made more sense for us to get this version. So this covers 16-35, and that for us is the perfect focal length, and that enables us to capture establishing shots such as landscapes, venues, or even just showing how small a subject is compared to its surroundings. So this next lens is really just a specialty lens that we really only break out to do small details or do B-roll sequences. It is the Canon 50mm f1.8 STM. And you may be asking yourselves why we got this one and not Sigma Art or Canon's version. Well, like I said, we rarely ever use it except for B-roll sequences or for ring shots or small details on a wedding day. So we just didn't feel like we needed to spend that much money on it. And of course, this is the nifty 50 as people would call it, and it's the best focal length that mimics your eyesight. Something to note is that, as you can see, it's the lens right here, and then it stops and there's an adapter. This is the Canon EF to RF adapter because this 50mm is only ever used on our EOS R now. Like I said, we use it for ring shots a lot, but we also love using it during the dance floor at receptions because it's 2.8 with super low light, and it just makes it more immersive in my opinion. Alright, so what you guys are listening to me on right now is the Tascam DR10L lavaliers. These are great little lavaliers. They're about the size of a matchbox or a Tic Tac box. And the best thing I like it is that it's hardwired. This is recording to a memory card in the actual lavalier. And we did this for many reasons. First off is that I don't want to have to worry about interference from other radio frequencies if we did wireless that would just go straight into the camera. But this does propose a problem for us in the editing room, is that we have to sync this audio to the camera audio, which adds a couple more minutes of steps, but it's not too much that I'm not willing to do. Lavaliers aside, for on-camera audio, we're using Rode Videomic Pro Pluses on both of the cameras. This is the upgraded version of the world-renowned Videomic Pro, which were used for years and years by tons of content creators as their go-to on-camera mics. These new Rode Videomic Pro Pluses have some really cool features, such as whenever you turn on and off your camera and your mic is plugged in, it will also turn on and off for you. Which, if you ever owned the old Videomic Pros, you knew was a big hassle of always forgetting to turn it off, and it just drained the battery. Speaking of battery, no more of the times that you have to worry about carrying an extra 9V around. With these new Rode Videomic Pro Pluses, they have a rechargeable battery that just slides in, and you can charge it via micro USB. And of course, another feature is that, as you can see, there's no cable for this microphone anymore because it is now detachable. Something cool is that if you ever broke your old cables on the old Videomic Pros, then you had to just buy a new microphone. But with these, you could replace the cables, and I actually chose to get one from a Rode Videomic Go so that it's a little bit more condensed on my camera. So now we're gonna do a quick audio demonstration. Right now you're listening to the Tascam DR10L, and right now you're now listening to the Rode Videomic Pro Plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Peter piped a peck of pickled peppers. And now you're back on the Tascam DR10L to finish out this video. Alright, now one of our new favorite additions that we just got recently. If you haven't seen our unboxing video for it, check out Syncast Productions on Instagram, where we posted a cool unboxing video that we tried in a new genre I'm trying out called seamless video. So our newest addition is right here, the DJI Mavic Air 2. It is our new drone. We just upgraded it from the Inspire 1, and by far I've only flown this around a handful of times. It is a magnificent drone. I love the ability to pack this up into our camera bag and not have to worry about a separate case just for our drone. Some differences between this and the Inspire 1 that we had, of course, is its size, its foldability. This is literally the size of my hand. It has way more sensors than our Inspire 1 did, and it has way more battery life, around 30 to 35 minutes of battery life. And something cool about these new DJI Mavic Air 2 controllers is that it's not just like the old Mavic style where the phone would sit in the palms, but now we're back to the top, which I always found more comfortable, especially coming from an Inspire controller. And for more details about the Mavic Air 2 and what I think about it, I'm gonna be having a video coming out shortly with a review of it. So now we're getting to the bottom of our backpack, so we have a little bit smaller things now. We have media. This is a Think Tank one. This holds all of our CF and CFast cards, and this is our Pelican one, which holds SD cards. So something for our EOS R is that we only use SanDisk Extreme Pros, and we have some older Extreme ones right next to it, but I love the Pro SD cards. And in the camera we have our CFast 258GB memory card, as well as another 128GB CF card. And lastly, we have a ton of 1DX batteries, the LPE19 batteries for the 1DX. These last us about an hour and a half. And we have a ton of Canon LPE6 batteries for the EOS R. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys want to purchase any of this equipment, I'm going to have all the links down in the description below. Make sure you hit subscribe because I'm going to start releasing more tutorials just like this. And as always, if you guys have any questions about any of the camera gear we talked about today, please let me know in the comments below.